Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's happening? What's cracking? What's popping? What it do? It's good, y'all. And a gracious good morning to you, good people. It's your girl KB. You know what I do, and you know why I do it. It's Tuesday morning. It's December 16th, and it's old dark 30. That's the time. Old dark 30. Just gonna put it out there like that. I was highly upset yesterday. Twice. Once with a news story, and the second time with an event that has impacted everyone in my workplace. And I was just irritated to the max, angry to the max, because one of the things about me as a communicator, and I've shared this repeatedly, and some people who are in my circle have experienced this, knowing full well, I'm a firm believer in calling a thing a thing. I'm a firm believer in calling stuff out. Now, this thing that happened in my workplace, everyone was, like I said, impacted, and we're still making some adjustments based on the events. And it's not in my immediate environment, I need to say that. But like I said, everyone has conversation about it, and everyone has been impacted by it. And it's not a good impact. It's more of a traumatic event. So as we make adjustments in life, as we move around as beings interconnected, we have some quirky behaviors that some people just can't seem to see. And they're in the habit of this dysfunctional communication and dysfunctional truce with other beings. Now, for me, like I said, I believe in calling a thing a thing. If I don't like you, I don't mess with you. If I cut you off, it's because you gave me the scissors, because I'm watching how you move, and you I talked about cowboys yesterday, so you're moving like a sidewinder, partner. So, you know that old trope. If I cut you off, chances are you gave me the scissors. And I need to say that it holds true. And I'm firm and fast on it if I pick up racist and bigoted undertones in your conversation or your actions. Okay? But again, the thing that impacted the collective workforce and some changes that are in the process. Now, the only thing constant in life is change, folks. Serious. So the things that impact us, we have to look at. And yesterday there was a group conversation, which I was a part of. And the general consensus was outrage. We made some adjustments to accommodate some things, and it was outrage. And I was very vocal about it. Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 of us in this conversation. And like I said, I believe in calling a thing, so after I calmed down, refocused, redirected my thoughts, I went and had a conversation with the powers that be. Because I'm not going to sit on something and not act on something. I don't do that. Yeah, and I know in interacting with some people, you have to be strategic. You don't have to be secretive, but you have to be strategic. This is the spot where the weakness is. This is where I'm going first. Okay? There's no covert actions. I'm telling you what needs to be shored up. I'm telling you where I'm approaching. It's on you to get prepared for this conversation or whatever action I'm going to take. I told you. Just like 92% of us. Never mind. I'm getting to that. So I had a conversation, and after I received information about the things that weren't spoken, my outrage dissipated, and I went on about my business of the day. But I still observed little clandestine meetings and little conversations. And one of the things I can say is that the individuals that were having the conversation are part of the problem because they don't remain consistent on where their boundaries are. And that's a communication style that breeds contempt and dysfunction. And I'm straightforward about that. I'm going to say that with my whole damn chest, and I'm going to say it standing flat-footed. See, when something goes on in your life, you have to look at what part you played in it. And whether you have the intestinal fortitude, the cojones, the spine to call it out. Okay, now I'm working backwards. I'm working in reverse. The first thing that upset me was hearing of, the passing of Rob Reiner. And then later on in the day, after reading a couple, 2-3 articles, finding out how he passed. He and his wife, I don't want to leave his wife out. It's tragic. A tragic family dynamic brought on by the mental health issue of addiction. And I work as a substance abuse counselor. So, I see the thought processes. I see the damage on a daily basis and have for over 20 years. And somehow I feel more akin to this specific situation because Rob Reiner was a person who spoke out on what he believes. He didn't just write a check, and he was spot on. And the comments that came from the person he called out on a regular basis, Donald Trump, were abhorrent, were appalling. For somebody that's so fragile that can't hear things about himself, to disrespect somebody in death is the epitome, for me, it's bad breeding. Now, you've heard me say people don't automatically take on saint-like characteristics once they pass, which we have a tendency to do. In our eulogizing somebody, we give them all kinds of attributes that they don't and they never have possessed. So, I didn't know Rob Reiner personally. I don't know, his peer group and how he got down. But I do know he expected leadership from a leader. And what he got was totally disrespectful. And like I said, for somebody that commands and demands respect on all the time, and all I can say, and it's like, and I'm going to say it in colloquial English and vernacular. Bruh, seriously, bruh, what's wrong with you? I know at some point you've been given a diagnosis. What is wrong with you? People are throwing around, malignant narcissist. And I see the malignancy or the metastasis in your social circle. I see the sickness. And every day, you make your pit a little deeper. What's wrong with you, man? Seriously. I'm thinking of the video footage, the black and white video footage of, Bobby Kennedy looking at mob influence. No, I'm sorry. It's not Bobby Kennedy. It is the MacArthur trials. McCarthy, not MacArthur. The McCarthy trials looking for communists. When somebody asked him, or asked one of the panelists, have you no decency, sir? That's the question I'm posing now. Have you no decency? Already knowing the answer.